Hi and welcome to AWS Academy. I'll be going over the walkthrough for Lab 3 Introduction to Amazon EC2. This lab provides you with a basic overview of launching, resizing, managing, and monitoring an Amazon EC2 instance. Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, also known as Amazon EC2, is a web service that provides resizable compute capacity in the cloud. It is designed to make web-scale cloud computing easier for developers. Amazon EC2 requires the time required to obtain and boot new server instances to minutes, allowing you to quickly scale capacity both up and down as your computing requirements change. After completing this lab, you should be able to do the following: launch a web server with termination protection enabled, monitor your EC2 instance, modify the security group that your web server is using to allow HTTP access, resize your Amazon EC2 instance at scale, explore EC2 limits, test termination protection, and terminate your EC2 instance. The duration of this lab should take about 35 minutes to complete. Now let's go over some of the AWS service restrictions. In this lab environment, access to AWS services and service actions might be restricted to the ones that are needed to complete the lab instructions. You might encounter errors if you attempt to access other services or perform actions beyond the ones that are described in this lab. Now, accessing the AWS Management Console, at the top of these instructions, choose Start Lab to launch your lab. This may take a while. Wait until you see the message Lab status ready. Then choose the X to close the Start Lab panel. As you can see here, the Start Lab menu had just popped up, telling us the region in which we are accessing this lab, which is US East, the lab ID, when it was created, the start session at which we started, and the remaining session, which should be 120 minutes time. This can take a while. Now that took a little while, but as you can see, the lab status shows as ready. So now we can click on the X on this window. At the top of these instructions, choose AWS. This will open the AWS Managed Console in a new browser tab. The system will automatically log you in. Tip: if a new browser tab does not open, there will typically be a banner or icon at the top of your browser indicating that your browser is preventing the site from opening pop-up windows. Instructions. Ideally, you will be able to see both browser tabs at the same time to make it easier to follow the lab steps. So for example, I'm going to take the AWS console tab and separate that from my Amazon tab. And then I'm just going to try to make this as neat as possible. And there you go. I'll see you in the next part of our lab.